Okay, hello, good morning. So I'm still streaming here. Um, oops, cancel. Yeah, still no baby. We'll see. It kind of needs to happen tomorrow or the day after. So yeah, but it's nice. Like I get to finish my stuff at work and do a proper handover, and I can do some streaming, which is nice. Anyways, I worked a little bit more on the tool or the uh, framework or whatever you want to call it. And what I did is that I did some more implementation. I don't quite remember exactly what I did, but I implemented. I don't remember where we dropped off last time, but yeah, so we have like a family, we have a profile. I implemented auth. Maybe we can look at the code for that. And we're going to implement a new feature together. Okay, so what I implemented is if you're signing in, we're trying to transition to authenticating. And if that happens, we actually run the effect of signing in. And on sign out, we check if we are actually authenticated, and then we do a sign out. And then we have profile, where we have this on profile update, where we always update the profile name. And if you have a family, but the family is gone on your in your database, in the database, we dispose of the family. And then we set it to undefined. And then if you don't have a family and you suddenly got a family, then we go and grab the family where we don't deal with the rejected, but when it's resolved, we create a new family. So that's pretty straightforward. The stream profile updates is we're using on dispose here, so that if the profile itself is disposed, it will also dispose of streaming profile updates, which is what we want. I guess what we're missing is the same kind of feature for the family. So the family actually deals with like it's initialized with a UID and the owner UID. And then we can say that it does have a profile here, which is the owner UID, but we don't have the name yet. So I'm lazily loading in the names and the other members. Oh, yeah, this should of course be family profile UIDs. We can reduce that to family data. Of course, we should do that. We should reduce that to UI profile UID. So profile UID, and we just have an empty name. Yes, so we have like all the profiles, but we don't have a name on them yet. And then we go and we actually load the profiles. And I guess, yeah. And then we're using a resolver on this so that if for some reason the family is disposed while it's grabbing this stuff, it won't run any of these things. And also, since we need to make mutations there, changes to the state, that's also why we use resolve, because then you're allowed to make changes in the resolved. So that's great. But we also need to listen to changes to the family. So like if yeah, so I've been thinking about this. Like what if someone changes their name, for example? How are we going to get the information about that? It means that we need to stream profile updates from each member. And we can do that. But you could also say that this should rather be sold in the database. So when we create, so currently in the database we store profile profile UIDs. It's just an array of strings, but you could store that as an object instead. So you would have like profiles, and then the key would be the UID to the profile, and then we will actually store the name there. But then you have two places in the database where you have the name, which means if you change the name on the profile, we need like a function that picks that up and actually updates the family as well. So it's like a question of where do you want to put that complexity. And since we're dealing with client code, I think we should just put that complexity in the client just to kind of put as much stuff in there as possible and see how organized it is and how it works. So what I thought we'd do is we already have the possibility to grab a profile. So we like stream a profile, so we can listen to updates. No worries on that. But we also, so we need one stream for the family itself to remove and add family members as they are added or removed. And then we need, yeah, this is interesting. This is like super complex, because then, so what we do is like, we set up a stream for each profile, but we also set up a stream for the family itself. And if, for example, a member is removed, we don't only want to remove that member from the family, but we also need to stop the stream of updates to that person, so that stream doesn't suddenly add updates again. Yeah, it's surprisingly complex. Wow, this is really interesting. Like this is seemingly such a simple thing. Like we could completely ignore this. Like it adds too much complexity to the application to keep this stuff in sync. And that's a valid argument. That we will more likely introduce bugs than, like, for example, the user can just restart their application, like refresh the application, and they'll see the updated name of their family member. And like, how often does a family member change their name? And if someone leaves the family or joins the family, like that's more important. That's something you definitely want to, and that, yeah. So I think maybe we'll say, yeah, I think we're going to say that we're not going to keep the names updated, but we are going to keep the members updated, because keeping the names updated introduces so much complexity. Yeah, it's interesting. Or should we just try it, just to see how much complexity it actually adds? Yeah, let's try it. But first, let's keep the family members in sync. So we're going to say on dispose, we are going to this this.api stream family updates, and that's family data.uid. And when this updates, we're going to say this on family update. We'll bind it to this. I prefer doing this binding thing than having like instance, like, so if you give an arrow function to a method, it's not a method anymore. It's not on a prototype, it becomes a property, like a function on a property of the instance. And I don't like, yeah, I think it's confusing. Like, I don't like having a mix of instance functions, instance property, function, instance property, property. instance property function. I don't know what to call them, but you know what I mean. I don't want to have a mix of that and methods, so that some of them are arrow functions just because somewhere I'm using pointing to them inline like this. Because then you kind of don't understand why it's an arrow function. While here you can see that, of course, I'm binding this because I'm directly referencing it. So you kind of get the information you need at the point where it actually needs to do the work, if that makes sense. Anyways, private on family update. What we'll get here is a family family data, which is family DTO. And what we need to do is to stream the family updates. So and I'm making these actual actions. Oops. Family data, family DTO. And the reason I'm making them actions is because I want to track their execution. Families, family data, and family DTO. And we're going to look into that. That's what I thought we'd do. I think we're going to spend a little bit of time today because I want to, what we're going to do when we're done with this is to actually implement this run thing. So we can click this and then it actually runs that method on this instance in the client. We'll talk more about that. But anyways, let's finish this stuff first. Okay, so what we need to do here, we need to get a grasp of what our current profile UIDs is. This dot profiles, and then new profile UIDs is family data. And now it's a question like, should we also deal with the owner being updated? And I don't think I have any functionality for that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to deal with updates. So if so we need to go through these things 2 times. So current profile UIDs for each profile UID. So if not new profile UIDs includes, oops. So if the profile UIDs on the server does not include one I have on the client, it means that it has been removed, which means that we want to, yes, we have to make this an action. Cool. Yeah, let's make this an action as well. Then we want to remove it. So this dot profiles profile UID. That's basically it. We'll remove that profile, and then we need to go through new profile UIDs, profile UID, and if not, yeah, we can do this. If not profile UID in, yeah, so this one's interesting because now we actually need to well, we can simplify this. So let's say that if we don't have the profile UID in this dot profiles, we're going to say this dot profiles profile UID equals an empty name, right? Actually, I can't remember if I actually stored a name. Let's see if I actually do that. Maybe I have the wrong typing for, where is family scrum dev Firestore. Oh, I don't have families there. Okay. Where can I check this? I guess this is in the... Yeah, this is in the old application. Let's just quickly check that. Let's see, family scrum. Do I have it there? There we have it. Okay, let's see if we can find it. So when you create a family, I think this is part of the web project. Functions, family, invite family members, join family, collection, update, profile UIDs, field value, array union. What the hell is this stuff? To union into the array. Okay. Yeah. So it's just an array. Which means we have to go and grab the name again. So what we can do here, we can like specifically go and grab the name of this profile, or we can just load all the names again. New profile UIDs. So we just go and grab all the names, and I think that's perfectly okay. So we'll do that. Okay, anyways, that's updating the family. Like, we have no idea if this actually works, but should be good. So now let's go and do some fun stuff. Oops. Let's implement new logic into our tool here. So what we want to be able to do is to click one of these nodes and run a method or an action on it. Now, some actions might have arguments, of course, and we're not going to implement that now because, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure how that should be done, because we do know, like, we statically know what kind of let's look here. So we statically know the arguments. So for example, if you have some method, like if you do foo string like that, we know it's a string. But and we could infer that and actually show it in the tool. Not infer it, but we could statically analyze it and show it in the tool. But it and then we could even validate. So if you had like an input for the first argument, we could even validate that it's an actual string, which is really cool. But then you might have like Firebase user. Like, we have no idea how that looks like. And there is this thing called a type fetcher, which actually gives you underlying information about the type. But I haven't dived into that, and I have a feeling it's quite a bit of complexity, so we're not going to do that. And then we have things like you can do this, right? So we'll have to figure that out as well. And then you might not even have any arguments here, but you, in your code, you're actually just using the arguments variable, right? So we can't really detect anything here. So what I thought I'd rather do is create a UI where you kind of have these two, you see the action name. So for example, sign in, that's like static, and the parentheses is static. And then on the way on the other side here, you have the other parentheses. So that's like static in the UI. And then you have, well, basically a text area here where you can just write code. So for example, you can write hello like that, and then you can just write foo bar. So you can just write it like that, and then it will validate that it's actually valid arguments. Not valid arguments in terms of what sign-in needs, but it's actual runnable, it's a runnable action. And I think that's way better. So you won't get any information about exactly what to pass in there, but at least we'll validate that it's executable. That's what I mean. Anyways, but for now, we're just going to run the thing. So what we need to do is we need to go into the tool project or the editor project, and we need to, here we have the run wrapper. And the way I've organized this project is that, oh, don't need the instance there, is that I have, and I'm really happy about this. So this editor is insanely complex. Like, this is not something you would typically build on the web, right? On the web, you build things like data fetching stuff. Like, you want to give an experience where you get data from the server and you kind of build this experience around that. But this is like this node stuff, and we're doing all sorts of crazy things here. And if I were to build that with, for example, Redux, it would be horrible. Or only React, it would be horrible. Because it's so much state management complexity, and it's so in high risk of performance issues. So you can imagine, for example, if I changed, for example, here. So what if this current state changed, right? And you had like 50 nodes here. And what would happen every time this state changed is that it had to reconcile all the 50 nodes every single time. And this happens to any state change here. And it's not only like a state change, it's if an action runs or anything that makes any update to this image, everything would have to reconcile. Or you would have to create some kind of crazy subscription system, I guess, where like each node subscribes to some specific data related to itself. But that's basically the point. So using MobX, I don't have to do that. It automatically does it. It even ensures that when this state updates, only like the actual piece of UI that's related to looking at that is what updates. So, and I don't have any security around actions or anything. I'm just updating state where it needs to update. And it just makes things way, way cleaner. So I have this thing called a backend, which I expose through the context, and then any part of the code using a hook can access that backend. So in this case, we want to make our action. So when we click it, we want to run that action. So what I think we'll do here is we're just going to pass in this case, yeah. We don't need to like add the hook for every action. We can pass in a function for this. Run action. Let's call it run action, and it takes the name. Well, the thing is, yeah, do I want to do it like this? Do I want to do it like this? Because we don't only need the name, we also need the instance ID. Okay, instance ID is a number, and then name is a string. Let's try this first. What you complaining about? Oh, it's just insanely slow. By the way, I'm going to order. I'm using a Mac Mini, and I really like it because I don't have to connect my laptop all the time. And then I have like, this is my workspace setup. This is where I do work, and then on my laptop I do all kinds of stuff, like other side projects, and I watch movies and stuff. And it's really nice to have this work setup. But it's interesting. They released a new Mac Mini yesterday, and it's like insanely more powerful. So I think I want to change. Anyways, so the thing is, with this run action, I also need the instance ID. So maybe we can just pass in the instance as well. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's see. Let's copy that. Let's get back the instance here. And then run action. Run action. And then on click, we'll have to check if we have an instance. We're going to run action instance dot. Oh, don't we have the ID of the instance? That's not good. Why don't we have the instance ID? Oh, node properties current instance ID. Oh, okay. So we don't need the instance, we need the current instance ID. Yeah, so the thing is like, how do we, where do we put in the instance ID? Do we put it in down here by the action, or should we put it in? So we just say, I want to run this action. And then it just knows that, okay, you can only run an action on the current instance ID. But that doesn't seem flexible enough. Maybe later we want to be able to like click an action directly here, which means that you don't necessarily have it selected as the current instance ID. So yeah, I think we are actually going to pass that in. So we're not going to pass the, where's action? We're not going to pass the instance. We are going to pass current instance ID. And this might be null, right? Yeah. Okay. And then run action. And we're just going to grab this from the backend. So the backend has actions and on run action. We'll need to implement that. So let's look at our action. We're not going to have, we're going to have instance ID, which is going to be a number or null. So if instance ID equals null, we're going to return that. But if it's not null, we're going to pass in instance ID and then the name. Cool. That's good. And then, oh, instance ID. And now we just need our action, on run action. Cool. Let's see here. On run action, that needs to go into our backend. So I haven't cleaned up this file yet. I'm going to split this up into different files, but I wasn't sure like how I was going to organize the concepts here. So that's why it's a little bit messy. So we have on run action. let's just implement it here on run action, which is instance ID number name string. And what we're going to do is we're going to send a message to the client. Type run action. Data would be instance ID and name. And now we need to add that type. So let's see. So this would be called a client message. Class open, so new one. Ja. Ja. Nei, jeg er ikke ferdig. Men du må bare komme inn. Har du pause nå? Nei. Er det video? Ja, men jeg kan holde foran kamera. Sorry, it's just my girlfriend. We have some people washing the apartment or the house. Okay, so we need run action, data. Let's see. Instance ID was a number and name is a string. And then we can do that. And yeah, okay, so now we send that to the editor backend, and then the editor backend needs to deal with this. So this is when we get editor messages. So in this case, we are going to get, we're not going to deal with this message in the actual editor backend. We're just going to pass it through to the client. So what it does right now is, if the message coming from the editor client should be dealt with in the editor, it picks it up here. But if it's of a type that's not here, then it implicitly thinks that, oh, I don't care about this message. It's supposed to go to the client. So we need to, yeah, and we might not have the client socket there. But if we do, we're going to pass it along. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Do I have to restart? No, I think we're okay. So let's refresh. And now we have an actual instance here. Let's try to run this. And then let's look at the network tab. WebSocket, messages. Did anything happen there? Doesn't look like it. What did I do wrong? Okay, let's see if it actually appears here. Message. Oh, yeah, wait, I have to restart the editor. Because we changed this line, right? We uncommented. So let's see. Oh, did I? Oh, that's something else. Okay, let's see. So now we have this, and then we need to refresh here to get some runtime information so that it can actually run the method on an actual instance. And then we'll try to run, and let's see if we get some message now. Hey, there it is. Cool, but there is an error here. We only got the data, but we actually want... Where did it go? Where did you go? Oh, sorry. Editor, we don't want to pass the... We want to pass the whole message, not just the data. Cool. That's it. Let's restart, and then we can implement the actual client to deal with this message, to run the method. Nice. There we go. Run. And now we're getting run action data instance ID. Oh, name is weird. Action. Are we not getting a name? Oh. Action.name. There we go. Let's try again. So when I change the code for the editor client, it will update. But if I change the editor backend, I need to restart the Electron app. Okay, we need runtime information first. Let's try to run it. Let's have another look. And there we got it. Sign in. Okay. So now we need to go to our runtime. Oh, this is something else. There we go. Runtime. So where do we actually receive this message? So this is the debug message. And then here we get, oh, we should actually log it out. Oh, here we go. We're actually logging it out as well. Okay. So how are we going to deal with the typing here? Because I don't want... Yeah, let's just rewrite the typing here. So this is a debug message, and then export type t backend message, and then we have run action data instance ID. Like, I don't want to define these two different places, but I don't really have any connection between the runtime and the editor now. Maybe there should be some common thing there, but anyways, name is a string. So if we go down to our, where is it? Where did you go? Send, hello, there we are. And this message will be a backend message, so we can switch on the type, and then one of the cases is run action. Okay, now the question is, how do we, this is inside the dev tool, and the dev tool doesn't have access to it doesn't have access to the thing where all the instances are, because that's inside here. We have classes, key of t, no, key of t, yeah, current class ID. Yeah, we need a way to options, new dev tool. Okay, so we can actually give it, we could give it a callback maybe to grab an instance based on an instance ID. Yeah, let's just do that first. So let's just give it a callback where we get the instance ID, which is a number. And then we're going to return this classes. Can I do like find on the map? No. Is there an effective way to... Well, this is classes. This is not. Yeah, this is interesting. This is not what I want. Because this is just registering the class. I don't have any. I don't think I have any references to the instances. I'm just assigning an instance ID to each class, but I don't actually have a way to find an instance based on its instance ID. So, how are we going to deal with that? Think. Okay, so we have this set instance by. Change. This is the. Yeah, wait a minute. Maybe we can use this thing. Let's log this. Let's see. Let's drop this, and I think the dev tool can actually track this. That would be the best separation of concern, I think. So every time I change the runtime, we need to build it. Let's see. Okay, so it has... okay, so object is the actual instance. This is interesting. And we can use that. Yes, let's do it. So inside the dev tool, we're going to have a map of mapping instance IDs to instances. So we have instance ID to instance, which is, well, it's basically a number. Yeah, I think I can do. I'm not sure how TypeScript does it think if I have a number as the index, it thinks it's an array. Let's see. Instance ID number, and then we have like class. What did I call it? Instance class. Can't remember what I called it. iClass. Is iClass the... Is that the instance? Or is that the constructor? God damn it. Class or factory? No, that's like the constructing thing. Yeah, I guess the instance, it doesn't matter. It can be any. So whenever we actually pick up on instance, we're going to say this instance ID to instance equals instance ID equals change. Do we have any? Oh, object. Cool. So that means when we now get a message with the instance ID, we can look up here, and then we have the object where we want to run the method. Cool. Oh. Okay, nice. I think that's going to work. I guess we might like dispose of instances, but it doesn't matter. Like this is debugging or like development mode. So if it fills up with memory, we don't really care. Where do we have our... Maybe we should clean up this a little bit as well. Okay, so now we have our message here. So we can say this dot instance ID to instance message data instance ID. And then we should be able to just use name message data name, and then we should be able to just call it. Cool. So let's build this. So what should happen now is that, like, yeah, I guess something should happen. Yeah, so later when we have the arguments, we can just add that to the message, and then we'll pass like message data args. We can just do this. So that's nice. Okay, so we have that. We have runtime. So if I click run here, oh, you saw that? It changed to authenticating. And then something bad happened. But something happened. Oh, I think yeah, because it redirected. Because that's the way we do authentication now. We redirect the page. So that's why it was suddenly empty and then everything got back. But it's unauthenticated, which I find a little bit funny. So let's take a look at this code. And do we actually... Oh, it's because we're not signing in. Well, on auth changed. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like, why doesn't it say I'm authenticated? What happened here? Do I have sign in method, authorized domains? Yeah, localhost. So I signed in. I would expect if no user, did I unauthenticated? Yeah, that's weird. Why am I unauthenticated? Yeah, this is weird. How can we check? I guess I just have to log out. Well, I guess I don't have a user here. Something weird is happening. No, I don't have a user. Why don't I have a user? Let's quickly... There we go. It redirects back, but I'm unauthenticated. What the hell? Why is it saying that? I'm signing in. This seems to be Firebase related. Or is it some security thing that I'm not like clicking a button? Like it's coming from sign in with redirect. I wonder if it says anything here. Oh, is it even initializing Firebase? Okay, I'm officially confused. We're initializing the app. We're signing in, but I don't get a user. Why? But there's no... Where's the Firebase WebSocket connection? Why aren't there any errors? There's nothing here. I am confused. Firebase app. Is this... How does this work? Okay, let me read it. What the hell? Oh, namespace. How does this work? Oh, fuck that. I don't understand why I'm not getting a user. Oh, god damn it. Let's see. Okay, I'm unauthenticated. I'm signing in. What? What the hell? For the module that are in the following manner. Oh. Oh, I can't believe this. Why am I not getting a user? But there's no... But where's the WebSocket connection for Firebase? It's not even here. Is it even running? Yeah, it's running. What if I do this? Nope, that shouldn't matter. What the hell? Okay, so the only thing I can think of here is that because I'm not clicking a button. That's the only reason I can imagine why this doesn't work. Like there's some security thing. Okay, let's try it. No, is it on click? I can do something like that, right? No. Still unauthenticated. What the hell? It works just fine here. God damn it. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can just stop here. I have no idea what's happening here. I don't want to bore you with all this. Like environments. It's... Oh, god damn it. So annoying. Yeah. Okay, but it was kind of fun implementing the... We actually got it working, but for some reason, like the finale here was supposed to be, wow, you actually logged in through clicking that run button inside the editor. But for some reason, it doesn't log in. And it seems to be a Firebase thing. I have no idea. Yeah. So we'll just stop there, and then I'll try to fix this. And then I guess next time, yeah, we should be able to explore, like when we actually log in, it will start firing up all these other things. Because now we're still just in the auth. We don't have an instance of profile or anything. Because we're, well, not authenticated. So yeah. But yeah, cool. Thanks for following along, and we'll get moving on this as soon as I get a chance. Bye for now.